Hello friends, here we are at the beautiful castle of Chapultepec in the heart of Mexico City. This is one of the most famous historical monuments in all of Mexico. We're going to see on the inside of this beautiful palace, which was built by Emperor Maximiliano from Austria. And now we're at the entrance of the famous Chapultepec Castle. The very first thing you see is a beautiful, famous statue called America, which was sculpted in 1846 to commemorate America, the coming of the Españoles to this great continent. Let's go inside and look at this beautiful Chapultepec Castle. Dr. ClarkvonHeller. We're continuing our tour of this beautiful castle of Chapultepec. It was built on this beautiful hill called Chapulin by the Aztecs or Toltecs way in before the arrival of the Spanish conquest. Behind me we have a beautiful mural. The beautiful palace of Maximiliano, the Emperor of Mexico, and Napoleon III. And of course, his famous wife, the famous wife of Maximiliano, Carlota. This is one of the drawing rooms. This is the very top of the palace, which served as a solarium in the cold days of winter. Remember, the altitude here in Mexico City and Chapultepec is over 7,000 feet. And so the climate is very nice year-round, and it can get very cold in the winters. This is the Grand Pavillion in Chapultepec Castle. The history of Chapultepec Castle is the history of many of the martyrs from Mexico in the lucha, in the battle for independence from Spain. The battle for the independence of Mexico from Spain. Of course, the most famous person in the Mexican Revolution was Padre Miguel Hidalgo Costilla, de cura violinista y generalísimo de los ejércitos insurgentes. And on this panel, we can see a beautiful mural depicting the entire history of the conquest of New Spain in the 16th century, which all began with Hernán Cortés, who landed at Veracruz. And now the most important document of all, the Declaration of Independence from the country of Mexico, declaring its independence from Mother Spain. Right here, one of the few original copies here at Chapultepec Castle, Mexico City. This is one of the very first flags of Mexico. And you can see it has the famous eagle, but this one has a crown on top. If it has a crown on top, it means it was still royal, still part of New Spain. And in this room, you can see some of the uniforms and beautiful costumes used by the royalty who inhabited this gorgeous palace. And this is the most famous man of all. This is Benito Juarez, who was an indigenous person, which means a native Indian from the Americas, and he was the one that led the Great Reform against the Catholic Church Empire, and he prevailed, and Mexico became a secular state. It was this man who caused Mexico to be a secular state, separated the church and state in Mexico. And also, he was a friend and a contemporary of our own Abraham Lincoln. This is the view outside of this magnificent Chapultepec Castle, looking downtown Mexico City. Porfirio Diaz and the Castle of Chapultepec. Now behind me you can see some of the most beautiful gardens in all of Mexico, overlooking Chapultepec Park, which is one of the highest regions of the area as well. The beautiful gardens at Chapultepec. The struggle for Mexican independence from Spain was just as the struggle for many other countries that are in the modern world today, and much of it transpired right here in this magnificent palace, the castle of Chapultepec. This is ClarkvonHeller. Remember to subscribe if you can. ClarkvonHeller YouTube. I'll leave you with these beautiful views of Chapultepec. Viva Mexico! Viva la República!